Carl.
Tommy.
Carl. Don't forget Bob Levin.
Okay, we're going to start with a invocation, and this is completely optional. Will Councilman Trovey lead us in the invocation?
Lord God, we come before you and we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us. You've given us so many blessings, Lord. There's just too many to count. We thank you for those things. We thank you for our breath. We thank you for this great nation that we live in. And we pray that our leaders would take us back in the directions that would lead us to you, Lord, that we may have wisdom and guidance and bring this country back into the protection that only you can provide. We lift up all the families and the hurt and the explosion with such tragedy in that town, Lord, and we think of Boston and the victims of such a cruel and senseless situation, Lord. We pray that you would be with each and every one of the families and that you would guide all of those that are still searching for clues and protection of that city, and certainly that justice would be done. We ask for your guidance in this meeting, and again, we thank you for this day. In your precious name, amen.
Amen. And I call this meeting of the Deerpark Town Board to order at 7:35 p.m. And will Councilman Spears lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would everybody remain standing for a moment of silence for Councilman Robert Levin, who recently passed away, a longtime councilman in the town of Deerpark, and also community activist, and also for all of the victims of the Boston bombings. Okay, thank you. You may be seated. All right, roll call on attendance. Councilman Trovey.
Here.
Councilman Spears.
Here.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilman Hoovler.
Here.
Supervisor Brabenec is here. 5 members of the board answering to their names. A quorum is present. And any additions or changes to the agenda? One change, we do not have the Eagle Scout presentation tonight, so we can knock that off the agenda. And that's all the changes that I have. Does anyone have any other additions or changes?
None.
No.
None?
All right, we'll move on to opening board comments. Councilman Spears.
Yeah, we'll have some tonight. I usually wait till later. I had the opportunity to attend with my dad the honor flight to Washington, D.C. Saturday, which the Hudson Valley Honor Flight took between 90 and 100 World War II veterans to Washington for a day. Started out over in ShopRite in Montgomery where they met. They went to Stewart and they took a charter plane down. There was people both waiting at ShopRite Inn at Stewart to see them off. It was very, very emotional. They flew into Reagan National, and again, I was down there with my wife. They had a band. Many people waiting there with flags to welcome them. And then they bussed them over to the World War II Memorial and to Arlington National Cemetery, and then at night they took them to a nice dinner. And it was just a wonderful day and a great day to remember the sacrifices that Americans have made through the years for the freedom we have. And to see those men and remember what they went through was a great day. So just want to put a plug in for the Hudson Valley Honor Flight. They do it at least once, maybe twice a year, and it's a very worthy organization to support. They did a wonderful job. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Trovey.
No, I'm going to hold till the end.
All right, Councilman Dean.
No, the only thing I'll start with is I want you to thank your dad for us for his service, and proud of the fact that you got to go with him. And the only thing I wish my dad was still here, so I could go with him. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm sure Chet did too.
Councilman Hoovler.
I think that is the honor flight is a wonderful program, and I hope that they continue. I know that they'll continue to do it as long as possible. I would have liked to had seen my father go on that. I think also, in addition to that, the town lost a really good guy last week in Bob Levin.
Yeah.
I know he was active with the Elks, the Masons, just about everything in town over the years. He was a stellar guy. I know he sat on the board too. I know he fought terrible disease in the end, but everything he ever did was with dignity and class. So that's my opening comment.
Thank you. And I do not have any opening comments. Wait till closing board comments. We'll go to presentations and communications. Just an update on the YMCA camp sign-up. A follow-up, we had the sign-ups this weekend, or this Friday and Saturday. Probably about anywhere from 100 to 150 children that signed up for the program. We still have slots available, mostly for younger campers. So if anyone is interested, they can contact the town clerk's office at 856-2210, extension 2. They can speak with Tippy Cregan, and she'll be able to get that information over to you, and also sign your child up for summer camp. Also, our bulk cleanup month will be commencing May 1st in a couple of weeks. If you need to get a permit to do that, you need to also visit the town clerk's office anytime during the day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and we can get that permit for you. It's a free permit, and you're able to bring 4 cubic yards of bulk trash. There's certain limitations to that, which we'll give you a sheet that'll tell you those limitations. So definitely visit the town clerk's office. We'll have something in writing also going out on the Facebook and on the website, and probably out to the local delis as well. Any other presentations and communications?
I have none.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. We have the minutes from March 25th and April the 8th. Has anybody, or has everybody gotten a chance to read those over?
Yeah, I have. I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes of March 25th and April 8th.
Okay, motion by Councilman Spears to approve both March 25th and April 8th. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Dean. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And motion carried 5-0. Move on to public comment period, 3 minutes per person, agenda items only. Town clerk, do we have anyone? No one, okay. We will move on to new business. We have 5 resolutions to consider tonight. So I will bring those out. Those are in front of you. So we will start with resolution number 10 of 2013. This is a resolution authorizing the signing of Computel Consultants Incorporated contract. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Deerpark, Orange County, New York authorizes the town supervisor to sign contract with Computel Consultants, Inc. to provide utility and telephone billing analysis services for the town of Deerpark in order to identify, correct, and secure refunds for any overcharges on utility and/or telephone accounts during the prior 6-year period. In addition, the town of Deerpark Town Board authorizes Computel Consultants, Inc. to do a cable franchise fee analysis for the prior 6 years in order to secure refunds for any underpayment of franchise fee due to the town of Deerpark. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Deerpark, Orange County, New York, authorizes the town supervisor to sign letters of authority to Computel Consultants, Inc. in order to perform the above-mentioned tasks. Upon passage, this resolution shall take effect immediately. I'll need a motion and a second, and then we can move to discussion.
I'll motion it till we get to discussion.
Okay, moved by Councilman Spears. Is there a second?
Second for discussion.
Seconded by Councilman Trovey, and we'll move to discussion.
On this, excuse me, Resolution 10, it seems like a very worthwhile endeavor that we have these things checked out. Just would like to know what the payment schedule is for the people doing the work, if there's anything up front, or if they get their funds out of refunds. So if you
Absolutely.
could enlighten us, that would be good.
Sure. On the letter that we received, it says, as far as the fee, it's clearly stated, we are pleased to offer our services at the reduced contingency fee rate of 40% of any refund that we secure for you. All refunds go directly to the town, and our fee is not due until after the refund is received. There's no upfront costs, and if we do not secure a refund for you, there is no charge at all for our service. Typically, when we correct billing errors, we not only secure a refund for you, but also reduce your future bills as well. Likewise, we will identify a cable television franchise fee underpayment. You would typically receive higher payments going forward. All future savings and or increased franchise fee payments are yours to keep in their entirety. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. That's all I had.
I guess the only other question, and I've done similar things in my own business like this. Did you try negotiating a little better price at all with them at all?
No.
Okay.
No. This is just the standard contract that they were sending out to all the towns in Orange and Sullivan County through the Town Clerks Association. We actually received this information from our town clerk.
Okay. My only, it's because what I do every day, is I don't know why we can't ask them for a little better keep for the town. I'm not opposed to doing this, but, you know, a 70-30 would look, I think the group I did that did my telephone were actually worked on 25%.
Okay.
So I don't see why we can't ask for a little.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I can, even though we would pass this resolution tonight, I can still negotiate the fee. And before I sign the contract, which I would do.
Okay.
And if you can get me the information for the 25%, I
Right.
could say, you know, well, this
Right.
company is offering 25%, you know,
Okay.
can you match that?
Right.
And then we can go and do that.
Okay, very
So-
good. Yeah, and I would even go further to say if we can do a 70-30, I'm okay with just going ahead.
Okay.
If you guys, I don't know how you guys feel about that.
If they don't agree to it, do we have any problem?
How about like a proxy vote, email, call, or whatever?
Okay.
Can we do that, or is that gonna get too cumbersome? Other thoughts?
I can't hear what he just said.
Okay.
Basically, I was saying I'd like to see us get the town keep 30%, and they keep, the town keeps 70%, they keep 30%, I've got a 40-60. And have Carl negotiate that, and if they're agreeable, that we'll accept that at the 70 town, 30 them.
Sure.
If they won't go with those programs, that maybe he could communicate with us by email or by phone to resolve it from what they're offering.
Well, we know that their offer is 60/40.
Right.
So what you could do is authorize Carl to negotiate anything 60/40 or better. And then that way, if
Okay.
it's 70/30, you can sign
Okay.
it immediately.
Okay,
And if
good.
it's something different than
That's
that,
a better way. I like it. Okay.
Okay. So what I would do is I would move to amend Resolution 10 of 2013 to add that the supervisor is authorized to negotiate a fee term of 60/40 or better
Okay.
for the town.
I'll amend my motion to the same.
Okay. So the motion and a second.
Second, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And the motion on the amendment is passed 5-0. Okay. Now, with the amended motion added into the resolution, we're back to discussion.
So, Flo, do you have any information? In other words, is there a typical amount that this company has been successful in retrieving? Or is it all over the map?
The town clerks that have, like our past meeting, I know the town of Woodbury said they got a substantial amount back. The 2 times they did it, there was this substantial amount they got back. One, I think Forestburg is in the process of doing it now, another town is, I think they signed up for,
Forestburg signed up for it,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And they were very well. I think one of them is a sitting councilman right now who's in this, who's doing this right now. Because they just can't believe how much they find with the billing on these companies and stuff. So they're out doing this, and they came to our town clerk's meeting, and we were just so impressed with it. We said we have to bring it back to all our boards. to get
Well,
it working.
yeah, I'm not questioning that. I think it's a great idea.
They are, some of them are very substantial, thousands.
Thousands, okay,
of
all right, that's what I want to hear. So, I wonder during the negotiation process, to sweeten the deal, when we start approaching thousands, then give them even a little more taste to say, listen, if you bring us this, you get that. In other words, I mean, it's the game of saying, hey, if you really produce, you're going to make out better and so on and so forth. I'm just trying to get a feel for what we might expect.
I think it's really a cut and dry thing. What they're gonna go back and do is they're gonna ask for all the phone bills, ask for the utility bills.
No, they don't ask. It's all done.
They have more?
Just the account numbers. They just want account
Okay.
numbers.
All right, so
They do everything.
they'll look up the account, so what they're gonna do is they're gonna look at that bill and they're gonna say, that charge should not have applied to the town, they're exempt from that. It's gonna be striking out.
Okay.
That's how it's gonna be.
It's like a forensic audit.
Yeah,
essentially.
they don't go back and try to negotiate a better price. It's just charges that shouldn't have been charged, whether it be like a SEC charge, that
Okay.
maybe is applicable to the general public and not to the town, but they're gonna strike that out,
All right.
so.
And it is gas also.
And
And gas.
So, and it's good, it's a 6-year rollback, right? But nothing going forward, you have to renegotiate after a
Right.
period of time. Okay, thank you.
All right, any further questions? All right, call the roll. Councilman Trovey?
Yes.
Councilman Spears?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Hoovler?
Yes.
Supervisor Brabenec, yes, and the resolution is adopted 5-0. Next, resolution number 11 of 2013, a resolution authorizing bidding for new town highway garage and senior center. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Deerpark, Orange County, New York authorizes the town engineer to start the process of securing bids for a proposed town highway garage and senior center. Upon passage, this resolution shall take effect immediately. I would need a motion and a second I'll move the resolution. I'll need a second.
Second for discussion.
Second by Councilman Spears, and we'll move to discussion.
Questions for our engineer. We're ready to go. We got everything done. You want to add anything for?
Yes, I would. I would
Oh,
ask,
wait, before you start talking, go up to the mic, otherwise nobody will hear you.
yeah, first of all, I would recommend that you put a bid date of there of May 30th. One of the things, we've been ready to go. We had the plans ready the first week in February. We worked overtime to get that done in January, days, nights, weekends. We got it done because we knew it was important to you to get it out, and our direction was to get it out in February, and it was ready before we went actually to New York. At that time, though, we went to the Community Development Department. We gave them copies of the plans and the detailed specifications, which met their requirements. And at that point, they did an environmental review, which we thought took an exorbitant amount of time. And they also reviewed our plans. They gave us nothing back. And finally, about 3 weeks ago, we got an informational letter from the State Historic Preservation that they felt we needed to do archaeological work on the site. I disputed that by the fact that the site was already disturbed. They had indicated that if the site was already disturbed, then they would let the archaeological go. Last Friday, I believe it was, I spoke to Community Development, and I told them that we planned on going to bid, and that, they better get State Historic Preservation to, go along with our request. I spoke to them in detail today. They actually had dropped off at my office on Friday, and I believe Carl got a copy of it as well, some requests that they had for changing our specifications. Most of it was very minor, word here, this, that. One good thing, though, because I've been telling you all bad things, but one good thing was that they indicated that we no longer have to comply with the purchasing agreement that they had previously told us, which would have been much more expensive. It was where the material had to be bought, and towards that end, it would probably add 10% to the cost of the steel. So we're no longer required to do that under that, so we took that aspect of it out. They also wanted us to upgrade the labor results, or the labor rates, because when we did it, it was February, now it's May, and the rates change every couple of months, so we already had that done anyway. They didn't know that, because we gave it to them back then. Irregardless of all that, everything that they asked for is already taken care of. The only thing that they need is a copy of the resolution that you act upon tonight within a 7-day period from the vote tonight. So the clerk gives me a certified copy of that. That'll satisfy them. They still do not have a contract with us, however, because they don't have a contract with the federal government. That was the other aspect of it. I believe that we need to go to bid now because, it's just been so long. The plans are ready, the specs are ready. It's a good time to bid it. Contractors are ready to bid projects now. And if some unforeseen issue comes forth, we don't have to award the contract. But I absolutely feel we need to, we've waited long enough, and I would recommend that we go to a bid opening for May 30th, and we put the plans out to bid, this week, probably advertised Friday or over the weekend.
Okay, so we're looking at adding that the bids would be due on May 30th, let's say, at the town clerk's office at 3 p.m. and then
2
we
p.m.
open them at
I've
2
already got it
p.m.?
written down at 2, if that's all
2
right.
p.m., is that good with you, Flo? Okay, and then with that, we would open the bids at 2 p.m.?
We open the bids at 2 p.m. They're due at 2 p.m., and we open them at 2 p.m.
Okay.
It's Memorial Day?
No,
the
Memorial
weekend
Day is actually like the the week before.
Yeah.
That's why we moved it back. We were actually going to do it a little earlier in the week, but we moved it back to get it away from Memorial Day.
Okay. All right, so I'll move to add to resolution number 11 of 2013 that all bids are due to Deerpark Town Hall to the town clerk's office on Thursday, May 30th, 2013 at 2:00 p.m. Bids will be opened at the Deerpark Town Clerk's office at 2 p.m. on Thursday, May 30th, 2013.
Excellent.
In that bid, is there something in writing that says we have a right to not accept any?
Yes.
Yes,
Of
we don't
course.
have to accept any of the bids.
It's said in there about 5 times.
Okay.
So you have the right to reject any and all bids at any time. And I've actually put it down that we have 45 days with which to do that,
Okay.
and another mandatory 45-day extension. So we have 90 days if we need that time to, get community development settled. But I believe they're very close to being settled.
And that's enough time to get enough different people to bid on this?
That gives them a month to bid. The community development requires at least 14 days.
Right.
I usually bid a month. The contractors, they come and get it right away. It sits on their desk for 2 weeks, and then the last 2 weeks, they go crazy putting numbers on it, So one of the things that we do is we're going to have a walkthrough on May 20th. That doesn't need to be set. It'll be in the, but just for everyone that wants to know, on May 20th at 10 o'clock, we'll do a walkthrough. We'll have a meeting here with all the contractors. It's not mandatory. I do that on purpose because if you make it mandatory and someone comes in with a low bid, you have a problem accepting it, because sometimes the bids are complete enough that people don't feel they need to, come to the walkthrough. They have the opportunity to ask us questions, RFIs, requests for information, up within 48 hours of the bid. The reason we do that is so that we have time to give the answers to everybody and not just the person that asks the question. So that gives us, 2 days to answer it, so everybody has the answer to everybody's question. So if somebody asks us a question, everybody gets the answer.
Great. Any further questions for the engineer?
Yeah, does that get advertised out on the paper? Does it get sent to
Yes.
people? It's just strictly an ad in the paper?
There's an ad in the paper. We also put it in publications, Construction Journal, things of those, all the trade journals. I've already spoken to a couple of the trade unions. I did that several weeks ago, and they're anxiously waiting. They call me every once in a while, let me know when it's coming out. And I also send it to the list of contractors that have worked on projects with me, Orange County Community College, contractors that work for us here, and we notify them via a fax, and we just give them a copy of the bid advertisement. But the true aspect of it is the advertisement in the paper.
If you could just make sure those trade unions are notified.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? All right, there's a motion on the floor to amend the current resolution, which is the addition of the bid dates where the bids are due and when they're going to be open. I have made the motion. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Hoovler. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? And motion carried 5-0. That adds that section to Resolution 11 of 2013. Now the question is back on the floor. I'll call the vote. Councilman Trovey.
Yes.
Councilman Spears.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilman Hoovler.
Yes.
Supervisor Brabetic, yes, and the resolution is adopted by a vote of 5-0. Okay, resolution number 12 of 2013, lead agency for Space Park parking lot expansion project. Whereas the town of Deerpark is considering expanding parking at Space Park, and whereas the town of Deerpark has cause to have prepared a long environmental assessment form under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and whereas the town board has taken and determined that the application process is to be ministerial, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Deerpark declares themselves as lead agency for this action. I will move the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spears, and we'll move to discussion. Any discussion?
Unless you briefly want to go over the project or just put it out for the public.
Sure.
I was down there tonight, and there was a Little League game going on, and our current parking facilities were full.
Wow, okay, all right, yes. With the original parking that's there at Space Park, we've noticed because of the usage of the park by the Port Jervis Football League, our Youth Football League, and also our Port Jervis Little League, that we have a lot of parents and a lot of cars, and the parking lot gets full very quickly. So we are negotiating with the county to take a portion of the cornfield that they own to the right of the parking lot when you're looking at the park. And we want to make that an expanded parking area for visitors of Space Park. So right now, what we're looking at doing is just having the area ready or made ready for a parking area, and also putting some item 4 down for that until we can find some more money or some grant money to actually pave it. So the first step would be to put item 4 down. That is the project.
Is that where it's going? Is that land under lease for agriculture?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, so there's no cornfield there.
Well, there's corn growing there, but
Somebody's leasing it then, right?
We're not sure about that.
We're not.
Somebody's using it.
somebody's using it. But it is owned by the county of Orange, so.
According to the original agreement, the cornfields are beyond, if you're looking at the football, if you're looking at field number 1, which is the existing field,
Right.
it's supposed to be, you got the little wetland that comes in behind it. It's beyond the wetland. That's where the corn's supposed to be.
Okay.
You know,
corn is
but there is
expanded.
corn over there.
It's expanded.
So this should be the children of the corn?
The children of the corn, actually, we had that at the Easter egg hunt. They were going into the corn, yes. So, if that is the deal, it'd be a great benefit for the park also, to have that expanded parking. Any further questions? I'll call the roll. Councilman Trovey?
Yes.
Councilman Spears?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Hoovler?
Yes.
Supervisor Brabetic, yes. And Resolution 12 of 2013 is adopted 5-0. Resolution 13 of 2013, no significant adverse environmental impacts related to Space Park parking expansion project. whereas the town of Deer Park will be performing a space park parking expansion project, and whereas the town board has caused to prepare a long environmental assessment form under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, whereas the town board has assumed lead agency status, and whereas the town board has taken and determined that the application process is to be ministerial, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Deer Park determined, based on the information and analysis in the long EAF and supporting documentation, that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts, and further authorizes the supervisor to sign the seeker documents accordingly. I cannot make the motion since I have to sign the documents, so I put it out there.
I will move Resolution 13 of 2013.
Okay, motion by Councilman Spears. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Hoover. We'll move to discussion.
Al, I got a question. Nope, no problem.
Yes.
Hey, we're doing a long form. Are we just doing a long form because it's a county, or?
Because it's the county, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause normally for like a gravel, we wouldn't need a long form.
Didn't they request that? too?
We wouldn't do it. We had done it originally when we did with the park itself, when we did the football field and the practice field.
Yep.
We did a long form then, all right? And it's not really up to the county, it's up to you because you were now the lead agency. But I felt it was most appropriate because since we had given them that before, they're going to be expecting it. And so if we gave them a short form, they would have said, oh, what's this, you know? So we did it just to be consistent with what we did before. That's all.
Okay. No turtles, no?
I didn't find anything down there.
Okay, good to go.
Couple baseballs, couple footballs.
There might be a turtle, but I think it's one of the toys the kids ride down there. That's about it.
There you go.
Baseball signed by Mickey Mantle or something?
No, it's Babe Ruth. but I
Babe
kept
Ruth?
that one.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Any further questions? I'll call the roll. Councilman Trovey?
Yes.
Councilman Spears?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Hoovler?
Yes.
Supervisor Brabenec, yes. And resolution number 13 of 2013, adopted by a vote of 5-0. Resolution 14 of 2013, approval of plans for Space Park Parking Expansion Project. Whereas the town of Deer Park is proposing a Space Park Parking Expansion Project, and whereas the town board has caused to prepare a long environmental assessment form under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and whereas the town board has assumed lead agency status, and whereas the town board has taken and determined that the application process is to be ministerial, and whereas the town board of the town of Deer Park determined, based on the information analysis in the long EAF and supporting documentation, that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts, and authorize the supervisor to sign the seeker documents accordingly. Now, therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Deer Park hereby approves the proposed plans for the Space Park Parking Expansion Project and authorizes commencement of the said project upon further approval from the County of Orange. And I will move to adopt Resolution 14 of 2013. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Spears, and we will move to discussion.
How much?
How much? It's going to be the cost of labor. Our highway department is going to be working on that, and then the cost of the item 4. And we're getting donations for equipment to get rid of a lot of the vegetation over there.
How much?
I do not have an exact amount.
I believe I spoke to the highway superintendent, and I believe he has sufficient in stock to cover that. That's what he had indicated to me. So I believe he's going to do it as he can also. It's not going to be a big project that's going to be done over the weekend. He's going to do it as he has time available, and not to speak for him, but since he's not here, I believe that, we've been talking back and forth, and, I believe that he has the resources available. We donated our services at this point, so for everything at the park. So, I don't believe it's going to be anything substantial out of pocket, other than the time he would have been doing something else, obviously.
Thank you. And Al, Just want to thank you for donating your services for
Yeah.
all these projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
How big is the parking lot, Al? How many cars?
You'll probably be able to get 100 cars in there.
Okay, so it's
You
a
know.
fairly good size.
Yeah, it's a nice-sized parking lot.
Thank you.
I mean, mainly they just got to put item down and roll it, basically, right?
That's it. Well,
Oh,
you know,
good.
they ought to scrape away some of the topsoil, which you could use elsewhere,
else, yeah.
you know. So I'd scrape the topsoil off.
Right.
Because otherwise it's just going to get mushy, and you're going to
Yes.
waste the gravel in item 4. So I'd push that out of the way that you could utilize somewhere else on the property, or, you know, some other place. And I'd store that out of the way, you know, seed it and store it and use it as you choose. But that's basically it, yeah.
And they're going to do that, they're going to put a little bigger stone underneath before they start putting the...
Yeah, they'll probably put runner bank gravel down first.
Right.
You know, they'll put cheap runner bank gravel down, and then put some, you know,
Level.
the top couple inches will be the item. There'll be a harder surface that, you know, would be better utilized for that. The good thing about it, too, is it's not it's a pervious project.
Right.
Whereas if we did asphalt, we'd have to concern ourselves with stormwater and whatnot. So it's probably a good idea to almost leave it item and just top it every once in a while.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any further questions?
Just saved a lot of paper if it wasn't for the state requirements.
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct.
All right, call the vote.
All right, I'll call the question. Councilman Trovey?
Yes.
Councilman Spears?
Yes.
Councilman Deanie?
Yes.
Councilman Hoovler?
Yes.
Supervisor Brabenec, yes. And Resolution 14 of 2013 is adopted by a vote of 5-0. That concludes new business. We'll move to appropriation, budget, and payment of bills. Move to pay bills with 3 or more council signatures. For abstract, general abstract number 8 of 2013, totaling $129,225.77. Highway abstract number 8, totaling $16,117.88. And street lighting abstract number 6, totaling $416.78. I'll move that. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Hoovler. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried, 5-0. We'll move to closing board comments. Councilman Spears.
Quickly, I'd like to thank Flo for bringing us the information on the audit. Hopefully, we can recoup some overpayments for the benefit of the taxpayers. And also like to thank Al Fusco for donating the engineering services on the town park. He's been doing that all along, and we're very appreciative of that. And just a quick reminder, I think Carl brought it up, that there are a few openings yet for the YMCA camp program, and it's a wonderful program where we're just partnering with the YMCA, their fantastic facilities up there, to give the residents and the children of the town of Deerpark a first-class recreation experience in the summer. So just my hats off to the YMCA and their willingness to partner with us to bring this together. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Councilman Trovey.
Okay, just, again, same thing, Flo, great job. We appreciate you bringing that to us. It'll save the town some money, which we're always trying to do. I'm sure it will. And Al, again, very gracious of you to help the kids in the area here, you guys and your engineering firm, to do the work on the playground, so thank you very much. We appreciate all you guys' helps. Want to encourage the townspeople. It's springtime. It's starting to get beautiful out. It's a nice time to clean up those yards and start making the town look a lot nicer. You've got the bulk cleanup. You got an opportunity to do so without a lot of cost. It's part of what you've been paying for in your taxes anyway, so take advantage of it. Let's take a little pride in our area. Let's try to encourage people to come here and live and work and play.
All right, thank you. Councilman Dean.
I'd like to remind everybody about the passing of Bob Levin. He's a longtime businessman in the town of Deerpark, longtime resident, had a really nice family, also town councilman. As Dave Hoovler put it so well, he was a good guy, and very, very involved in the community and fraternal organizations, and I mean, there really isn't anybody that I can think of that had a bad word for Bob. So he went through hell in the end, but hey, he's at his reward, and he's in a better place, and I believe that. And our hearts and feelings go out to his family. I want to briefly mention the bombing in Boston. Our hearts and thoughts go out to, and prayers go out to the victims and the victims' families of the bombing, and it just goes to show that you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you have to be attentive in what's going on. And unfortunately, we live in a dangerous world, and I would, without getting too political about this, I would make the case that the Second Amendment is there for a reason, and it's so that people can own firearms and use them for self-protection. And this is a horrible thing, but listen, you got to keep your wits about you, and you got to pay attention to what's going on. On an upscale note, I'd like to thank Carl again for Cleanup Month, because it's been a huge success. And as Artie put it, clean up around your house, and I'd strongly urge you to grab a trash bag and kind of clean up along the road. My wife does it every morning. She's a walker. She comes back. My thing is I get to take her garbage to the landfill. So, but really, I mean, it doesn't take very much, and if you just clean up in front of your house, your neighbor will clean up in front of their house, and before you know it, it's clean. So I want to thank Al Fusco for donating his services for the town park. Also, the Highway Department for the fine work they did over there. I know it's a great asset for this community. And I'd also like to give a big thumbs up to our colleague, Mr. Hoovler, who's had a pretty good week this week. And go Dave.
Thank you.
That's it.
All right, thank you. Councilman Hoovler.
Again, I just want to, my condolences to the Levin family. Like I said, an all-around great guy. You will not meet a better man than Bob Levin. Carl, I would appreciate it if you could send something from the town board to the Levin family, just sending the condolences from the board because of he was so active in everything. I think that would be a nice gesture from us.
You got it.
Again, the cleanup day, initially when that came out a few years ago, I was against it because I thought it would cost too much. Carl, you've made it work, so that's all yours.
Thanks.
Al, great job, great job. Thank you for doing the work down at the park. And once again, I have to say again, on my ride up here tonight, I noticed that every ballpark in Deerpark was full. Every single one had kids playing on them. I think that's utterly amazing. It just goes to show you if you take a little time and you clean them up, people will use them. Summer is coming, so you're going to hear me say this all the time up here. While we are bordered by two great rivers, the Neversink and the Delaware, please, please, please be careful when you're out there taking advantage of these treasures. The water does kill, even to the best swimmers, and we learn that every year. So please, if you're going out there and you're going to recreate on the water, wear a life jacket, because no matter what, you're not invincible out there. My final comment, I hope that those that are all of those that are responsible for the Boston bombing are brought to justice swiftly and fairly, and that they receive a fair and just sentence when they are convicted for this heinous act. Other than that, I have nothing else.
All right. All right, thank you. And for my closing board comments, just to echo about the parks, I'm very, very happy that this board has taken the initiative to go after cleaning up these parks, making them a treasure to utilize for our residents and our children in the community. Again, Space Park being utilized by the Football League, by the Little League, which is fantastic. I drive past Bigger Park every day, and I see little kids playing in the playground and kids playing basketball and throwing frisbees and having fun over there. And I know with the Sparrowbush Fireman's Park, we got a little bit of a tip-off that we may be getting some grant money coming in. So that'll be good, and we might be able to repair the walking trail that's in the park, and also maybe add a bathroom over there possibly. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully this grant will come through so we can do that over there. It's been targeted for that for a long time. The town just hasn't seen it yet. So we're pushing the county planning department and New York State to not renege on its promise of giving us money. So that's with the parks. And concerning the parks and our facilities, I was lucky enough to be part of our annual NYMER report, where we had our representative from Right Risk Management come to do his annual inspection of our facilities. He says between when he first came in 2010 to now, there's 1,000% difference. We've done a wonderful job turning around a lot of the facilities here with the parks, with Town Hall, Building Number 2. There are a couple things we still need to improve on. There might be some park equipment that we might need to replace this year. And also, he was not happy, I could tell, that we still were in possession of the beach at Myers Grove. So that is something that we will see if that ends up in the report or not. But I know he'll be issuing a report to us, which should be coming in the next few weeks, and we'll review the results of that report and act accordingly. Last year, I was just doing a review of all of our committees tonight. Last year, we had established through resolution a police advisory committee, and that police advisory committee was a 5-member board appointed at will. The chairman would be appointed by the town board. And what the whole purpose of that committee is to answer citizen complaints, operational complaints, to receive those complaints, and then make recommendations to the town board for action. It's just simply an advisory committee. We have not filled any of those spots as of today. So we did put something on the website. We are looking for folks to serve on that advisory committee. We would prefer people that have previous law enforcement experience to give us good advisory opinions. And we'll be looking for some quality people to get on that committee. So if you know of anyone with some previous law enforcement experience that could do a good job on that committee, please let us know, and we'll see what we can do. Also, last meeting we appointed an alternate for the Zoning Board of Appeals. We'll also have one position available there. So there's a position with that. So if you're interested in serving as an alternate for the zoning board, please submit a resume and a letter of interest to the town clerk, and we can bring that up for discussion at the next meeting. There's also a position available on the ethics committee that has not been filled yet. So if you are interested in any one of those committees, please let us know. And that is all I have for tonight. So anything further to come before the board?
Nothing.
Okay. I move to adjourn at 8:24 p.m. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Hoovler. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Have a nice day.